Not quite yet.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
We should just elect a
down.
fucking retard into Senate,
Yeah,
like
right?
a full-on
I'm telling you.
retard.
Yeah,
you
and
should
all
elect the retard
inclusivity.
as president.
We
Right?
can't be ableist.
Exactly.
I mean, we did kind of elect a retard, didn't we? Trump's kind of retarded.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
didn't
also Biden is also senile.
Right.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
talking
He's-
full on.
He's way too old to be an
I mean, we need to have an age limit. Like you have to be at least 30 years old to be president, but you can't be president after like 65.
65, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
You're retired? No.
If you won't give grandpa the keys to drive your kids to school, then
Right.
you should not give him the nuclear codes. I mean, that's basic sense.
Well, not
For God's
only
sakes.
not only that, but yeah, they make people fucking retire at what, 67,
65.
65.
65.
At
Well,
that
they don't
point,
make
they,
it, but-
well, you know, it's like, okay, this is
can.
your retirement age or whatever.
right? Yeah, right. They shouldn't be working. They shouldn't be in control of the biggest government on the planet.
Or the biggest nuclear arms fucking arsenal. in
Biggest
the planet.
everything. Like, you know
mean,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, we
Your arms.
Anyway, all right.
I mean, we're biggest in teen
We doing
pregnancy. We're number one. Fuck y'all.
We're in.
We're number one in fucking kids getting raped.
Wow. Okay, that's a little dark.
Well,
And
well,
we're off.
Motherfucking deal with
And
it. In
we're
this
off.
episode of the Red Eye Report, we discuss the world's obsession with true crime. We murder this topic, and as usual, we entertain no one. With me this week is the all-seeing Oracle. Oracle recently got a job. Hands up. It's not as prestigious.
I pay his bills, motherfucker.
It's not as
Handies.
prestigious as teaching ingrates English, but the free ass dogs will more than make up.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Fucking ass dogs with extra
You get
cheese.
free ass dogs?
Hell yeah,
Okay,
dude.
days.
What the fuck? I
Well,
want
he
that
works for the
guy.
government now.
Cheese them up.
Okay,
Alright.
so you're getting like guy ass dogs also if you work for the government. So it's not. I don't want that dog.
I
don't want it. Never mind.
End ass dogs.
And
End to end, like
and
like
we've also
him.
got a
Human
fluffy teddy
centipede.
bear. Shh.
So
Teddy's not a big fan of true crime. When you grow up in Detroit, it doesn't get much truer than that, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch the fuck out of
Yeah,
First
he just
48.
looked out the window to watch his true crime documentary.
Right. We've also got a soot-covered ashtray. The only one of us that could plausibly be a serial killer. His new place is a bit better, but his old place looked basically like Richard Ramirez and Jeffrey Dahmer shared a South American favela shack. Right?
Oh yeah.
Right? Just blood all over it and shit. Fucking ore
Mhm.
parts.
You know how many things of Comet Cleaner I went through just to get the
Last and least, I'm the mystic. I once killed and ate a Jehovah's Witness because he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Wow.
Where's your God now, you delusional fuck?
Wow.
This is the Red Eye Report.
Okay, so funny story about
I
the true
really
crime thing
hate
in Detroit.
Jehovah's Witnesses, by the way.
On New Year's Eve, we used to have to sit on the floor because they would shoot at midnight.
Really?
Anyway, that's,
You had to
yeah.
sit on the floor just so
On the floor, yeah.
in case a shot went
Just
through the window.
And it's so you
Wow.
wouldn't get hit by any
Case.
stray bullets. Yeah,
Wow, dude.
America.
like around
man.
midnight when midnight's coming up, you sit on the floor because they start shooting and shit instead of
On Tuesday at 5 o'clock, one of our reporters was set up and she starts doing her live shot and you hear fucking gunshots probably less than a block away. Like just pop, 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 pop. Fucking, they like, the camera like cuts.
It was
and
a
they-
live shot
you
actually
could hear
in
them, yeah,
progress.
you could hear them like running. Like she's like, oh my God. They like cut away. They
So
cut
did they
away.
cut
right
back
away.
to the-
Yeah,
Not
they
like-
cut away they cut away back to the anchor, and the anchor's like, I don't know what's happening here, but we'll update you, and I hope they're okay. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Get the fuck out of the ghetto, white people.
Right. So anyway, tonight we're talking about true crime.
Pause for the
Which is
call.
the big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. What is his name? Kenneth the Emu.
Kenneth the Emu. A funny video showed about the guy, an emu who needs to be. He's kind of skittish. He needs to be adopted. Every time he hears something, he thinks it's a gunshot, and he goes for the eggs. He's got to save the eggs. Okay. Kenneth the Emu.
Okay. Well, you guys
All
are
right. Well,
doing that.
hey, you passed your drug test. Light up.
I mean, really.
He's like, I'm worried about a surprise test.
Yeah. Surprise,
they get you.
motherfucker.
This is the real test.
Yeah, right? That was just Kool-Aid.
Somebody on the staff found your show. We know you smoke.
Anyway, all right. So true crime's been big the last like fucking I don't know how many years, right? Decade? probably say decade.
Oh yeah, if not more.
Or so like when did Serial come out? You guys listen to Serial, right?
Yeah.
I never did, but
yeah,
I know
did
of it.
when it came out.
Probably 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Probably now.
probably 10 years now.
So that guy actually, we'll start with that. So that guy, Adnan, what is his name? Saeed or whatever? I don't know how to say his name.
Yep.
He was the subject of the first season of Serial. So in case
What is
listeners
Serial?
don't understand, yeah,
It was
Serial
name
is a
of a
podcast. It's just called Serial, like a serial killer. You're gonna
Like serial killer, I get that,
C-R-I-A. Yeah. So it's a podcast, and each season on the podcast they cover one subject. So it's like a certain amount of episodes on one true crime story. And the first one was about this guy, Adnan Saeed, who supposedly killed his girlfriend, but there was like a shit ton of evidence against that, saying that he didn't, and he was
Was
kind
it
of
a
railroaded.
friend of theirs or an
I don't
acquaintance?
remember. I listened to it, but it was a long time ago, so I kind of forgot.
It was inconclusive. They didn't have like a solid thing, but also it wasn't enough to just throw him in jail. Kind of what they did. He was a Muslim. This was post 9/11
Yeah,
that the shit
this
was
is like
going
big.
on.
And they actually,
okay.
they made an HBO show about it. Not We Own the Night. It was some kid. I watched the documentary. It was like a fucking or not documentary. It was like a drama series about that guy after that Serial podcast came out too.
Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, I've never listened to any other ones. Have you ever listened to any other of them? Of that, like any other seasons? Or
Well, I did listen to S Town, which was outstanding.
okay,
Out of
what's that about?
all of
They're
those,
separate.
I would recommend S Town. S Town is true crime, but it's based in some place in the South, some Appalachian area or something like that. And yeah, it's great. It's really good. It's one of those things that you can't really sum up. Like it's fucking layered and it's done really well. And they took a lot of the stuff that, because when Serial came out, that was like a hit success. And now
Yeah.
when I listen to it, it's not really that compelling. Whereas S Town,
We'll get into why
Yeah.
that is here soon.
Oh, really?
Actually, we'll talk about that right now because with that Wired article, you read it, right, Ashtray? You said
What? Read what?
the psychological impact of.
Oh, I actually
on-
wasn't able to.
Oh, that's
'cause,
right. You couldn't.
Fucking Wired let me read one article, and then I clicked on that link, and it's like, dude,
Wired has a paywall? I didn't realize.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cucks.
So okay. So basically, Ben Coccio, he left the podcast 8 years ago. He was a 47-year-old filmmaker who helped start it. He's saying, quote, you want to go and talk to people about it and be there in that moment of mystery with them. So he's like, they're asking him why he started it and why he does it, and then subsequently why he left. He says, but gradually the subreddit became polarized. when he began posting about Serial, Coccio was trying to lower his blood pressure without medication, so he monitored it regularly. He says, I was really hyper aware of things that made me feel worked up and anxious and manic. He says he quickly noticed that arguing with people on the sub was adding to that. As the group split into
shit.
those who thought Syed was innocent and those who thought he was guilty, Coccio would occasionally lash out when debating strangers. It got so bad that there were death threats sent back and forth between these people arguing about this case and shit. So he left, like one of the main guys, him and this other woman left the podcast. So I'm assuming that's why the quality has gone down since that first one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it just doesn't have what it used to, for sure.
Right. So so they also asked a psychologist or psychiatrist like why people love this shit, and they basically said it's the same concept as like sideshows back in the day. Like you go and see the fattest woman in the world or like the smallest man. And we still have those. You know what I mean? Like Little People is a show. We watch midgets. You know what I'm saying? My 600-Pound Life. The sideshow is real on television. and so is
Hoarders.
true crime. We can watch true crime and be engulfed in it, and there's no danger. You know what I mean? It's a vicarious thing that humans like to do. We just fucking live vicariously through shit like this. That's why it's so popular. Like, it's just a fucking enthralling. And I mean, they're done well,
and
too.
also
they're put
it's
together well.
True, that is what
Sure.
like a good historical documentary can be all the more riveting because it's like this shit actually happened.
Right.
Okay, it was 2 years ago.
That's a good
this
episode.
Marcus. No, this other chick named Marcus. Her last name is Marcus. She left the Serial podcast too. She says it became really bad for my mental health arguing the same arguments. When Saeed was released from prison last month, Marcus returned to the podcast, but she imagines that it won't be for long. So I don't know why. I'm sure it takes a lot out of you, man. You know what I mean? I'm sure it fucking really does. And I will say that one of our reporters named Emerson Lehman, he's been working on this for over a week, because when the drama Monster Dahmer thing came out on Netflix that everyone's watching.
Anyone here watch it yet? I haven't.
I've seen the first 4 episodes.
Okay. Decent.
My wife watched the first 2, she said, and she had to stop because it got too weird for her, too creepy for her.
And we'll get to that. It's my What's Sexy.
Sexy Dahmer.
Now, is this also? So I've listened to a podcast, Monster, the DC Sniper. And
oh yeah, the first black serial killer.
Same guy.
Oh, so it is the
dude.
same dude that's doing
Yeah,
that?
it's like the same. I think they're gonna start doing this dramatization like on a serial, like with different serial killers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because this one's called Monster Dahmer, and I think they keep referencing.
Oh, so there's a prior monster.
Yeah.
Netflix
Well, no,
series?
I think there's
And
gonna
these
be
are-
like Monster Ted Bundy, or like, you know what I mean? They'll dramatize other serial
They
killers.
were podcasts. They
Right.
would do,
So I
like,
think they're
things.
turning them into shows,
Yeah.
is what I think.
Okay. I mean, the DC Sniper one was outstanding. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Is it, and this is on Netflix?
Yes.
Not the DC Sniper.
Well, not the DC
Not the
Sniper.
DC Sniper.
That's a podcast, so that's on like all the
Oh.
major.
The DC
Oh.
Sniper there was actually a movie made about that, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it's the first black serial killer. You gotta get some credit.
Well, it was
by,
a
first black
father
known-
son. Well, or not really.
Yeah, it was a father son duo. Yeah.
Well, not really.
He was like a
father-son.
mentor, not
Yeah.
really father son.
Oh, was it? Okay, I thought it was a father son duo. Sorry.
It was an
It was like a Big
impressionable
Brother.
kid and a psycho ass father figure.
So these are made by, a lot of them are made by Joe Berlinger, who Ashtray will know him from Paradise Lost, the HBO thing about those kids that supposedly killed that kid in the satanic.
Yeah, the kid with the terrible name of fucking.
He didn't do. Let me get this straight though. He didn't do. There's 2 Dahmer things. One of them came out today, and it's a true story. That's the true crime documentary about Dahmer. It's him talking on his his tapes, his interview.
Oh,
tapes.
is that on a different streaming platform, or is
No,
that?
that's Netflix. That just came out today. But a week ago, there was a 10-episode dramatization of fucking him getting caught in his life or whatever. So the guy who made the documentary that came out today is Joe Berlinger. He's a documentary filmmaker. He's done Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy thing. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the John Wayne. It's like they play the tapes.
He did The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, okay, I watched that. Yep.
Yeah, he's done Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. That was a fucking. We watched that. That was that. Oh no, that wasn't that one. That was a different one. Anyway, so he also did Ted Bundy, Conversations with the Killer. Anyway, this dude's good at this fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's good at making these. And anyway, so he did that. But the people who made the actual dramatization are the ones that I think are going to be making, like what Oracle said with the fucking DC Sniper guy and shit like that. So they'll be going through other serial killers. I know it's kind of confusing that there's two. I don't know why they
Right.
dropped them like a week apart from each other.
Got to
which is
cash in on that shit.
right.
on the-
And that's the thing. Like I've been watching the Jefferson dude for the whole week. He's been doing nothing but interviewed. Like he interviewed the lead attorney on Dahmer's case. He interviewed the fucking detective in Dahmer's case. One of the reporters that was that covered it when he was here 20 or 30 years ago or whatever. And a bunch of other people, and like he's been engulfed in this shit. And this dude like forgot like passwords and shit today. Like it feels like it's really affecting him.
Probably
Like not
is.
necessarily the subject matter, but just the amount that like it draws you into it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
investigation of it. That like
Mhm.
like he's reading like FBI fucking files of like what they found in his apartment and like the crime scene and like the interview tapes and shit. Like this dude is just going all out.
Well, as
And
far
I
as
really kinda
serial
feel for him.
killers, yeah, as far as serial killers go, isn't Dahmer like very well documented compared to a lot of these?
Oh yeah, there was even a couple of years ago. My Friend Dahmer, I believe it's titled.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that movie is based off of a graphic novel, originated by a high school friend of Jeffrey Dahmer's, who they kind of like, drifted apart after high school. Like he moved away or whatever. But it describes some of like Dahmer was a full blown alcoholic in high school.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was a full blown alcoholic his whole life, basically.
Hmm.
From the first,
And,
from early teens.
Yeah, and he killed, if I remember right, he killed like while in his last year or just after high school, like his first victim. And then they think it was a
Yeah,
gap
in
year
Ohio.
before he killed. But he killed, I believe,
It was
in
like
his parents' house.
seven before it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then there was a span of period where he didn't kill anyone until
Yeah, he
Was
killed a
there-
hitchhiker.
Was there an
in, like,
uneven?
the
Was there an
70s.
uneven number of like? Didn't he have like a high number of black victims?
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
Latino, Asian, or black, basically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that wasn't because he wasn't racist or anything. It was because the cops. When you watch this show, you'll find out the cops are basically to blame for multiple murders
Just like
he committed because they could
they
have
could have
caught him
stopped him.
so many times.
Mm.
Yeah.
like at one point when he killed the fucking dude, the first guy that he killed, he had him cut up in garbage bags and he was driving him to dump him. And he got pulled over because he was swerving all over the place because he was fucking hammered.
God.
And the cops are like, "What's in the bags?" And he's like, "Oh, I got lawn clippings in there. I was disposing of these lawn clippings." And the cops like, "Well,"
clippings.
he's like, "You've been having something to drink," and like he's like, "Oh, I just had a couple," and he's like, "Okay, well, just get home." You'd like basically
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, it's
70s
fucked.
in Ohio, if you're white,
It's
you're gonna
Wow.
get away
white
with it. You know what I mean?
privilege.
Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
exactly. And then like there's a point he lobotomized a 14-year-old kid in Milwaukee. The cops came and because the kid like Dahmer went to the fucking like the liquor store to get more booze after he did this because he thought the kid was like dead or just like on the bed asleep. The kid got up, made it out of the apartment, and like some other people found him and shit
Oh
in
yeah, I
the
remember
apartment.
that.
And then the cops fucking show up.
He was like naked,
And the
right?
cops,
like,
yeah, and he's like fucking all he has is underwear on. And he can't talk. He's like
he was-
and like fucking Dahmer comes back and these cops are like, "Who's this?" Dahmer's like, "Oh, that's my lover. He's 19.
What?
He's just drunk. I'll get him back upstairs." Yeah, they went upstairs, went into his fucking apartment and
How
didn't
did-
search anything. And then let this kid go back in there
Wow.
and then just left. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's how culpable the Milwaukee Police Department is in this whole situation.
Wow.
Yeah, and Dahmer knew that that's how it was in this neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was like one of the few white people.
Yeah, he was the only fucking white person, basically. Like they say right away, they're like a fucking big white blonde motherfucker like you sticks out like a sore thumb. You know. Anyway,
Wow.
dude, it's a crazy fucking story, and I think that's why we get so enthralled with this shit. Is that humans want to know about this stuff, but we can do it from the privacy of our own home. You know what I mean? We don't have to fucking investigate things like police officers and shit. Like,
Mhm.
No, they don't like that, especially when you're brown.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Anyway,
I kind of wonder though. There are all these reality shows. So like, my dad especially is like really into these fucking like. I go down in the basement and he's watching like Psycho Neighbors, you know, and like
Oh, yeah.
fucking shit like this, and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Or
like
Neighbors,
never
yeah.
ending.
Yeah.
Like
know.
never ending amount of cases, and it's
Jealous
just
and
like.
dead.
Yeah, I had to stop watching the first 48 because I just a bunch of black guys just incriminated themselves. Like the cops had nothing and they just talked. Ask for a lawyer, you dumb fuck. I mean,
Don't say anything. You don't.
yeah, don't say anything. Actually, like they have nothing on you. They're going on a whim. They heard something from Pookie and they're pulling you for questioning. Just ask for a lawyer.
Right.
But
Jesus Christ.
are there really that many fucking like murder cases that
Oh, yeah.
are worth?
Yes. Talking about
That are worth investigating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean,
the
just think about Milwaukee alone. We're one of the smaller major cities in the U.S. and we have 200 250 murders a year.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine what there is in Chicago, L.A., New York, fucking
Yeah,
all over the nation.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
Plenty
there's
of
a lot
murder.
more murders than fucking. Yeah, there's a lot of
Well,
murdering going on.
there's and also like there's a whole I don't know if you ever use the Pluto app, you know, it's just like a bunch of like free reruns channels, and there's a whole section that's just crime. You got your first 48 hours, you got your cold case files, forensic files,
I used to watch
FBI
those
files.
cold case files.
Cold case files I actually do like. It's kind of like listening to the narrator. It's similar to almost like fucking Unsolved Mysteries, where
Yeah.
the narration
epic
is kind of
voice.
soothing to fall asleep to.
You thought Robert Stack was soothing to fall asleep?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Yeah.
Dude,
That's
I don't know
super
about soothing. I just thought he had an epic fucking voice.
It is epic. I
terrifying.
mean,
He right? Hey, he likes horror.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I do like horror, and the over COVID, when spending a lot of nights over with my COVID buddy, and she would put on those like true crime things, and usually it's kind of like I don't give a fuck, I'm not paying any attention. But then I found like listening to the narration was actually like easy to fall asleep to, and now
Yeah.
it's like I fall asleep to murder stories.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
actually.
first-
Oh, go ahead, Teddy.
The first true crime documentary I watched was the one about the guy and the kid who murdered that. It's on To Catch a Killer or To Catch a Murder or whatever. What's it called on Netflix?
Oh yeah. The fucking
Oh.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was kind
What the hell
of
is his
I
name?
watched. I can't remember.
From
Stephen
but,
Avery.
from Wisconsin, Stephen
from
Avery.
Wisconsin, yeah, Stephen
Oh,
Avery.
yeah.
So I was a fan of the first 48, which is a reality crime TV show, and so that was the first documentary that I saw. Really. So after that documentary, didn't he get like another case or something? So is there
Mhm.
are there instances where these podcasts, these true crime podcasts, like help?
Yeah, that Adnan Syed dude.
He's
got him
out.
out of prison.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, because of that podcast.
Avery
And there was a
had
thing where
another.
Stephen Avery. There was a thing where Stephen Avery, they were trying to, but he got denied again because
Right.
Wisconsin's racist as fuck.
I never saw the second season of Making a Murderer. You guys?
Oh, so it was making.
Wasn't it- Didn't that-
there was. Yeah, there
Didn't
was.
that kind of cover the trying to get him back in?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
also that the staircase. Or
Oh, that is
one.
outstanding. That's really good. I
Yeah.
like that.
The Staircase?
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, that's really good if you've never seen it. The dude who like was on trial for murdering his wife.
That's a good one because it's
Because you don't know.
You
Like, you
don't
really
know,
just don't know,
like
still.
and it's done. I think it was done by like French filmmakers, so it's got a different feel to it
Yeah.
than what your standard, true crime.
Murder Among the Mormons is also a really good one. If you guys
What?
that one.
I've not seen it, but
I could see
it
that.
That was a
sounds
Netflix one, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Is
is. It's done by
Netflix?
the same guy that Berlinger did.
Probably.
Trying
Murder
to think
Among
of
the Mormons. That one was really good because the dude basically just fucked over the Mormon church. Fan-fucking-tastic.
so with Unsolved Mysteries, I was watching the old series, the Robert Stack series. They had it on like Amazon Prime years ago, and I was watching it with my wife, and it was like Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and that's where I was. That's where I was working. It's like, this guy fucking killed this person and blah 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 blah. And this is not a big city. Woonsocket is not a big city. And what was crazy though is somebody had come into my office. So at that time I was helping people with like the resumes and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it was the killer guy. Yes. And the killer guy was like, yeah, I'm pretty famous around these parts. And I just started the job.
Wait, he got off a murder, and so he
Yeah,
was out.
he
free
got
and-
off of off from the murder. He was never convicted.
So he's like,
Wow.
He's like,
Yeah.
famous
Dude, so I just like moved to this area and I unsolved
And he had to help
mysteries.
with his resume.
Yes.
Did you put got away
Killed
with
somebody and
murder.
got away with it.
That's an
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's innocent
Attention
to proven
to
guilty.
detail.
So, did he really? Do you think he really killed the guy, or are you just like making an assumption because he got off and was acquitted?
I kind of think the dude, he was pretty creepy. I
you
think
got
he
that
probably
guy.
fucking did it.
I mean,
The problem with our legal system is that, like, if you don't, and a lot of
Right.
times it is the cops, when they don't treat the death as suspicious and they don't get those immediate, evidence, details,
Yeah.
and then it's like
I mean,
after the
just, I
fact
watched
that they
I
have to
watched,
try to go
yeah.
back to it.
The cops are lazy. I watched Law and Order. The fingerprints. You were there. You said you were there. You're guilty.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah.
in that fucking in that Dahmer thing, it's a drama. But at the end of the last episode I watched, it actually gave me chills because it just goes to a black screen and it says, "This is the actual 911 call,"
Ooh.
or "This is an actual call between a detective and the woman who found that 14-year-old kid." And the conversation was basically her going, "Did you check who that kid was?" And the cop's like, "Yeah, it's all good. It's fine.
Just
He's
like-
a 19-year-old. It's his lover. Blah blah blah." And she's like, "You sure? Because he looked like he was about 12." And like, she's like, "That's a boy." And she like went out and like, dude, it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, right.
Like the way they put that shit together, it's just fucking so good, man. These filmmakers today, fucking rapscallions them.
Yeah, but the
Could be
good
one
thing is,
too.
Dahmer did not last very long in prison.
Oh no, he got beat with a metal fucking pipe.
Yeah, he got
Beat to
murdered
death.
real quick.
He got what he fucking deserved. Piece of
Yeah, he did. I mean,
should have
shit,
been
yeah.
slower about it, but
The
anyway. Any last thoughts?
Well,
on that?
let's say, surprised you didn't mention the true crime addiction, or like how it becomes enveloping. Michelle
We're not-
McNamara, who wrote the "I'll Be Gone in the Dark" book, she was married to Patton Oswalt.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
they made a series on
Oh, that's
HBO,
right.
which
Didn't
is
she
really
commit
good.
suicide?
No, she actually just had an accidental overdose. Taking she was a pill popper, and Patton Oswalt even, like, they address it in the documentary, and he's like, I knew, she would take pills. She would, she'd have some Adderalls and or some Percocets and stuff like that. Like, she'd take Adderalls when she was on like a real fucking kick and like writing a lot, and she got so involved in the Golden State Killer case that she befriended a number of the different detectives, because this happened in different areas, And her and another like true crime nerd who she was working with, they got access to like a whole SUV full of police files. And so like you could almost say like the
She went
obsession with
down
this
that rabbit
case,
hole, huh?
she went down that rabbit hole, and she, this wasn't like she was, like fucked up on drugs, but it also could have been, who knows, it may have been a knockoff pill with fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was essentially like she was working late in the night, and then like the next morning, like she just didn't come down for like breakfast like normal, and Patton Oswalt went up and like just could not wake her up.
Wow.
And yeah, so the other guy kind of helped finish the book, and right as like literally as the book got published was when the that kind of 23andMe DNA technique that the investigators use, where they find enough similarity of the DNA profile to a family member who may be like a third cousin. But there's someone who, you wouldn't know your third cousin was a serial killer. And but they then go through that family tree based off this one person's DNA who's in the public profile, and then it narrows down based on, they look at age and reasonable suspects, and then they scouted this guy and waited for him to throw some trash out, but they got some of his DNA, and bam,
Wow.
they fucking arrested him. Like, I want to say it was within the month that the book came out or was published, which like serendipitously made it great for the documentary. Kind of rounded out.
Love dugouts.
Word.
To the dugout.
Anyway.
So
Any other true crimes?
Well, true crime stuff, I'm just looking on my podcast list. Pineapple Street Studios is really good. Like a good producer for true crime stuff. But
is that the name of the podcast, Pineapple Street Studios, or do they have a couple lines of podcasts?
They have a couple lines of podcasts, and one of their favorite ones that I like from them is "Stay Away from Matthew McGill." Really good. But they have a bunch of other stuff on there as well.
Mystic, I am downloading the Murder Among the Mormons for my trip. So,
now that you mention it, like podcast, this kind of podcasting now is just like we do here. There's plenty of it's Coffee House Crime on YouTube.
see, I don't.
There's just so many fucking crimes. Like I just watched one recently. There's been a number of them on YouTube about that Chandler Halverson, the fucking dude who I think we talked about in another podcast, where he was like, "Yeah, I got a job coming up with SpaceX," and then he's like, "Yeah, and I worked for American Family Insurance," and he was just like fucking gaming upstairs in his parents' house. And he was like saying he was going to college
in Madison,
Wisconsin,
right?
here, Dane County here. It's it was Windsor, Wisconsin, kind of like a fancy, nice suburb. But yeah, there's been a number of episodes on him, and then there was a recent one. God, was it up towards Green Bay, where it was the fucking chick who went, and like did some meth with this, the guy the boy she's banging, and like cut his fucking head off and then left it. She was like taking body parts out.
Oh, that crazy bitch! Then, like, that was
I can't believe I left the fucking head in the bucket there with a rag over it. And the mom comes down looking for her son and pulls. She's like, "What's this bucket at the bottom of the basement stairs?" And pulls the rag back. Can you imagine? She's fucked in the head for the rest of her life.
What did she do with the rest of the body? If the head was in the bucket,
she had it like in her van or something. I can't remember. What ends up happening with the rest of the body?
I mean, really, yeah, it's like.
They found her within, like the next day. They like came up to her house, and she's like walking out the door. She's still got bloodstains in her clothes. Like she's on fucking meth, like, and been up all night, trying to figure out what to do with the fucking body. Choked him with the chain while having sex, and then took his whole head off.
He's gonna convict her.
You don't hear that much with females, doing that kind of shit.
How strong was that bitch?
Well, I mean, really,
I
She
think
had
she
to
was
be.
pretty good looking too. I think I said.
Yeah, she wasn't bad looking. She looked like kind of like.
I mean, the crazy ones are good looking. What's the fucking the teacher or mom that killed her kids, whatever? It's hot as fuck.
I'm a killer kids who's hot as fuck. There's probably a couple.
Yeah, a few.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
Are we done? Are we done talking about
we've
hot,
been done.
hot
out there.
kid killers?
Yeah.
All right,
Let's take
moving on to the
touchy.
wet sexy section of the show. Oracle, work and harvest.
Working harvest. So this past week, been working harvest on the Cranberry Marsh.
Yeah, I love these stores.
Have you really?
Oh yeah,
With the waiters and shit up to the
Yeah,
waist.
Yep.
and
boy.
shit?
with the waders and shit,
You can send us pictures, you some bitch.
throwing pipe,
Send me some cranberry juice, man.
fucking like wild dogs out in the beds, like men do.
With your cranberry break, you just
Yeah,
do a little
I mean
buggery.
that's how fucking cranberry jelly's made, man. You gotta fucking put some cranberries up
That's
in the
how
asshole.
you pack the
mash 'em up.
cranberry jam into
Yeah.
the.
I can never. Yeah.
Think
dude,
about that the
Wow.
next Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you have fucked up my Thanksgiving.
Cringe.
I mean, really, you have
This is
fucked up
why
my
I-
Thanksgiving.
That's
Yeah.
why I never eat it in Thanksgiving.
I have to
Why?
redeem it with an awesome
A
mac
little
and
too
cheese now.
packed in the can, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, but it's been good. Good times being out there, out in the water with the berries and shit. But
It's that good outdoor labor.
Yeah.
I miss it sometimes.
feels good. I haven't done it in a long time.
Out in the bog in the waders. That's some white folk shit to do.
Yeah, you will
just-
not find a black
I
person
mean, really. And now,
anywhere within the
look,
vicinity
because
of
I
that
was
shit.
I was able to enjoy the white people dancing at your wedding. I do want to sit. I've seen the ocean spray commercials. I want to be the first brother out there in the bog.
I could
just
I could
breaking the
probably
cranberry.
arrange something.
Bro, I'll fly out there right now.
I forget now. Do the
Let's see.
cranberries? Do you have to shake them off the plant so they float on the
Yeah,
water,
so
or does
you-
a machine do that?
Well, you don't do it by hand. That would be insane. I mean, that's what they used to do.
That's
But
what they used to do.
so-
And so you have a machine now, or
yeah, they've got something called a harrow, and basically what it is like kind of like a comb that goes through. So you put a little bit of water on the vines, and then you knock the berries off, and then you put in more water, and all the berries are on the top, and you just suck them up out of the bed.
How many? They've been doing that with cranberries for a long
Ever.
time, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of an ingenious way of harvesting if you think about it, because like, rather than having to go fucking actually like pick oranges,
Oh yeah, like back in the
Right.
old days, they had like a fucking basket with like a comb on the front of it, and you'd go out there and to-
just kind of scrape the
scoop 'em
plant.
up.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's definitely progressed over the
they
years.
still have those now.
and do they do the cranberries have to soak in the water to be juicy, or is it this sort of?
No,
No, it's just the
so
way
that
harvesting
that
is
is
considered.
just so it's to get the berries up, so you can easily get them off of the water to harvest them, and also there's kind of the aspect of, especially right now with it freezing, you don't want them freezing while they are on the vine.
vine.
that
Yeah, I
kind
got
of
you. Yeah.
thing. So, yeah, they're pretty good at it. Cranberry marshes are a very efficient operation in terms of agriculture goes, because water does a lot of it, and
Yeah.
so they can have pretty
Well,
big
in a way, it kind of
operations.
cleans it as you're harvesting a
Right.
little, and
Yeah, and the
sure
machinery
you filter out
actually.
twigs and shit.
Yeah, so the machinery, when you're sucking it up, it actually has like sprayers and stuff that's spraying all of that shit and cleaning it off. Goes into the semi, and then they take the semi out to the processing plant.
Okay, real talk. What pesticides am I drinking?
Well,
am I going to be sterile? Am I going to have superpowers?
if it
What's
makes
going
you
on here?
feel any better,
These
uh,
Roundup.
the cranberry growers make a decent amount more money by going for the European standard in terms of
Oh
organic.
yes.
how long the time that you apply pesticides to when you can harvest is longer with the European standard, and also you can only use certain things. So I'm sure we're all fucked anyway, but we're probably a little less fucked.
Oh yeah,
than what
we all
do.
have glucosamate, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Fucking Roundup. in
Yeah,
us.
we got
Plastics.
that stuff in us.
Yeah, we have plastic surrounding our hearts right now.
We got.
We're all fucked.
All right, moving on to me. I'm going to talk about that Dahmer show that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. You guys should check it out. It's creepy. So here's why I think it's creepy. The sound design is fucking fantastic because the only music in it is like if somebody is actually listening to it. Other than that, it's just like these fucking tones. And it like it just sets this like, dude, the tension. They don't show him killing anybody. They don't have to. Because the fucking tension
Don't ruin
in
the
these
show
scenes
for me.
is goddamn crazy, dude.
Is it just like how creepy of an actor he is?
Yes, yes. It's just so creepy.
He's always going to be Quicksilver to me.
Oh, that girl's got some blood on it.
Yeah,
Nasty.
Man.
that's creepy as shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Screw that, man.
So anyway,
Awesome.
although every time somebody says Jeff, I think of the show What We Do in the Shadows because one of the characters said that the name Jeff sounds like a weak ejaculation. And she goes, Jeff. So I like giggle like every time they're like Jeff Dahmer. Jeff. All right, that's it. Teddy.
Awesome.
Teddy being a family man.
Being a family man, I enjoy being a family man. The way I've got remarried, my son and my wife have been bonding. There are times I've come home and been like, I should go down and hang out and stuff, and they're hanging out. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a beer or I'm gonna go smoke a joint.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna
You
leave it
know?
there.
It's the joy of not being a single parent again, and having like the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, and my son accepting that and shit, and them bonding. It's fucking fun. I'll put a picture up, if you want to show that on the show, it's cool. I don't put my son's face on online, so it's I find fun ways to hide his face, and that's part of the joy. Like if you look on Facebook, on my Facebook account, my son, I have a lot of pictures of my son, but they're hidden. His face is hidden. So
What event is this? What nightmare event is this thing?
This was at it was a Marvel live show at Bridgestone Arena. And my son, this was like 3-4 years ago. My son was probably like 5, 6. He's he's a huge Spider-Man fan. And so we got him a Spider-Man mask. That mask cost me like $20. It came with, or $25. Came with cotton candy. He also had a glowing staff that I bought, was like $45.
Damn.
The show had a malfunction. And they had to stop and restart. But it was a fun time. Speaking of my son being a Spider-Man fan, I recently he has his own. I gave him my old Xbox that he's playing on, and I let him play on my PlayStation. And he played the Miles Morales Spider-Man, the part 2, and he is 100% of that game on like 3 difficulty levels.
Damn, man.
It's fucking
shit.
awesome. Yeah,
Did they release that on PS4?
it's the Miles Morales game is on PS4,
Oh.
and he thinks I have the first Spider-Man also, but he likes the Miles Morales Spider-Man better, so that's when he plays. And he's played it, so he's got all the costumes. He's found all the hidden shit. Like it's kind of a pass the torch moment.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I love my family. I fucking love my family.
We love your family too, Teddy.
I would
That's
kill all
right.
of you for my family.
Yeah, so my sexy is the economy. Maybe finally fucking, oh shit, something might not be right.
Astray's prediction for the past 2 years is finally coming
Finally coming true.
Yeah, someday it'll come. through,
Someday.
right?
Only because it feels like I've been able to leave work instead of like 10 p.m. to midnight-ish, now it's like I can leave around like 7, 8. And
Oh, so you only work 12 hours a day.
yeah, exactly. It's being a little like it feels like a little more breathing room, but I'm still gonna knock on presswood. But yeah, the Dow had 2 days straight of over 600-point loss, and then we had like a 800-point like rally on Wednesday, and then today they're like, oh fuck, maybe that was just a bunch of bullshit. But if you want an interesting take on the perspective of how that is have you guys seen that the Netflix documentary Eat the Rich?
No, I saw that. That's about GameStop, right?
Yeah, it was about the GameStop thing, and it's definitely worth checking out and seeing how flippant, it's like the markets are what we need as a device for setting prices, but yet when you see how all the influences that aren't necessarily the actual like raw data that what we in theory think is what factors into price projection, and how like a tweet from Elon Musk can make like fucking GameStop just fucking ridiculous. But anyways, hopefully, the economy's gonna slow the fuck down here, and hopefully we'll have one of these soft landings, they say. But it just means I can leave work earlier. It never is soft.
There's going to be nothing soft about it.
Yeah, well, they're going to try to keep that party going as long as they possibly can.
They always try to double down at the last minute like a fucking gambling addict.
We're going to get fucked without lube is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're on to the fuck what you think. Oracle,
Porn
streaker
star.
pressing charges.
Yeah, so what was it? Thursday night game? No, today's Thursday. Monday night game. The Rams and who the fuck were the 49ers.
49ers, yeah.
So they had this streaker run out on the field, or not streaker, protester.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in like boxers, right?
Yeah, so
section, wasn't he?
he ran out there, and apparently he was protesting like some pig farm or some shit.
Yes, yeah, pork, yeah. Some retarded white people shit.
Bobby Wagner, who is a big man.
He's a murderer, is what he is.
That could really.
If Bobby Wagner touches you on Madden, it's a fumble.
Yeah, I mean,
so goddamn unfair.
He can put
yeah.
the hurt down on NFL players that are used to getting hit by people.
Yeah.
Well, he fucking gave this dude a pop, and put him down on the ground, and apparently,
and it looked reasonable, if you ask me.
It was reasonable. He wasn't trying to kill the guy.
Yeah.
But he is, like a
he just stopped him.
260-pound fucking murder machine. So anything that he does is going to lay this dude out. Well, anyway, apparently the streaker has decided to file a police report over this incident.
Are you kidding?
And a representative for Direction Action Everywhere claims that Wagner and Tack McKinley were responsible for blatant assault.
Now, this representative,
assault on a trespasser?
Yeah,
right? Yeah, exactly, right?
Representative of something action?
Yeah.
Is this representative behind the protest?
All their attorney has to do is to show
I don't know about the group, but for that person. And then Wagner said, he's like, well, you don't know what that fan got or what they're doing, which is very true.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this guy could have a fucking hand grenade on him. You don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's such bullshit.
He could have fucking ass dog.
Right.
It's very bullshit.
Give me that ass dog.
It's yeah.
There's no way that Bobby's gonna have to
Right. You run
answer
out
for
there
that
on
game.
that field and you're doing that shit. You are completely waiving any rights.
Oh,
that you
absolutely.
have.
You're trespassing
Your trust, yeah.
on private fucking
Yeah.
property.
It's like storming the beach of fucking D-Day. You're gonna get shot.
Right. Right.
Well, I don't know about shot. Goddamn.
That's
Well, I mean, like,
That's
He wasn't
like-
black. He was white. They just
everyone's
was
gonna
white,
be going
yeah.
after you.
I mean, how great would that be? Actually, they should do this where they should have like when somebody comes out into the field, it's open season and the fucking
Yeah.
Well,
players
there's-
can
there's-
go after them.
right.
That would
there's
be
videos
fucking
of soccer of streakers on soccer fields, and the players will trip them or nudge them or
Yeah.
something. So
That'd be
all
so
all the
great.
defense has to do, if this goes to court, all the defense has to do is show like clips of Bobby Wagner killing professional football players, and
Right.
then show the hit that he put on this guy to just
Yeah.
slam down.
I mean, you
And they'll
could
be like, yeah,
you could do a thing though where you could get like 2 points, like a 2-point conversion if your team takes out the dude.
That'd be awesome.
You know, that'd be pretty
Right?
great.
Yep.
dude, you're really advocating for this fucking up
Right.
streakers in
For
professional
just-
sports.
just
Look
fucking
at-
up.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Like
right.
the-
You
like
could
the
fumble
cops
the
told my
protester
mom.
too. Like you
Fumble
just
the
like
protester.
tackle him, and like one of the guys from the opposite team fucking knocks him out of your hand.
Right.
and then you just dogpile on him.
Anyway, all right. Now we're moving on to me. Chess cheating? What the fuck? All right. So here's the deal.
Yeah,
Talked
I saw
about this before. This chess prodigy, Hans Niemann, they say, chess.com says that he cheated. He supposedly, or probably, they said, cheated 100 times. You know what I'm saying? They don't have concrete fucking evidence that he did.
How
How
can
do
they,
you-
how
came
can
out
they
with this
allege
report.
this?
Well, how do you
Yeah,
cheat
then what-
chess? Is my thing.
Well,
You're
yeah,
playing it with a person.
an earpiece. You get like a taint thing that's just tickling your fucking
We're
ball
not even
sack
talking
and
about
telling you
that.
right-
He cheated online.
Oh, online. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, I cheat online at chess all the time.
Yeah. So here's the deal. He cheated online, but they don't know that he did for sure. They're basing this on analysis of like different tab selections while he was playing games, which he could have just been looking at another tab.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying he switched to a tab that's running a computer, running like Stockfish or some chess engine that's going to tell him the correct move, or the top engine move that
Mm-hmm.
humans really aren't going to ever get. Which it's possible that he was, but they don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're out here publishing a fucking report that this guy cheated. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like without concrete evidence. And they also said that his trajectory, the rise of his ELO, his ranking, was better than Bobby Fischer or even Magnus Carlsen,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
who are the best fucking players in the
Yeah.
history of the game.
Or-
So now this dude, how has he performed in face-to-face?
That's the problem. He beat Magnus face to face.
See,
He beat him twice.
Yeah.
But
And-
they're saying, and that's why they're saying that's what I mean. They're taking the fact that he beat him face to face, and they're like, oh, he had to have cheated.
How?
Well, if he
how do you-
supposedly
how do you
did
cheat
it
face to
online.
face?
Well, they said actually one of the ways that they said, and this is funny as shit, is that he could have used anal beads, vibrating,
What?
Right? He did. Oh, just
Whoa,
taint
wait.
wrestlers.
vibrating anal beads. Because like, okay, so the squares on a chessboard are quadrants.
Yes.
So let's say the best move is B7. It'll vibrate twice for B, 7 times for 7. He knows that that's the top engine move. Somebody has to be, helping
Yeah,
him.
feeding. Yeah, they have you on the phone.
Right.
Feeding the shit.
But
it-
that's how fucking elaborate. Are you kidding?
and
anal
what
beads.
Isn't
judge
it
and
just
what
easier
judge
to just fucking play chess?
but here's the thing. What judge thought of that fucking that accusation? maybe you vibrate the anal beads. You know, that's
Hey,
what
I
me
don't
and my
think it
wife
was
it
a
did.
just
judge.
some-
I don't think it was a judge. I think it was somebody
Just
online. Was
some
Oh, well,
fucking
yeah,
person
well,
on
they're
Twitter
retarded.
was
Yeah.
like vibrating
They're
anal beads.
retarded.
You know
Never
what? That would have been
But
an
the thing
X-rated.
is that this guy is being fucking dragged through the mud, and nobody has proven anything.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
beat the fucking world champion, and the fact that the world
Twice, yeah.
champion,
Maybe he's
the fact that the
autistic.
world champion got butthurt, and he was like, "Oh well, it didn't even seem like he was really thinking when he was playing me." Well, maybe he fucking went to all your
Maybe he's
games
that
and
good.
memorized your fucking patterns.
Mm-hmm.
You ever think
Yeah.
about that? Maybe he
Well-
fucking honed in on what you were playing as an opening. Maybe
Yeah,
he's just
maybe
fucking
he's
that
Rain
good.
Man.
And the thing is that he is okay. So here's my fuck what you think. We're finally going to get to this point. They've been dragging this dude through the mud. Today was the first day of the U.S. Championship, right in St.
Yeah.
Louis. He arrives. The person before him is a woman grandmaster. They because they're wanding people now to check for metal.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that, right? So they wand her nonchalant. They wanded Hans Niemann, the guy who was accused of cheating.
Yeah.
They wanded him in the front and made him turn around and wanded all the way down over his ass twice.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had
Right.
anal beads in.
Looking for
Are you
those
fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
iPhone anal beads.
And then he went in and played and beat one of the top grandmasters
That's
in
what
the United States.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
like,
so-
if he
I
can
like
do
beat him
that,
handily too. Didn't fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't stomp his ass, but it was pretty decisive.
Right.
It was a checkmate.
if he had
know,
to
like-
cheat, like if he was cheating online, he wouldn't be able to do that.
No,
No way.
that's what I mean. And yet no one has come out and been like, all right, well, we apologize. You know,
That's
maybe this
fucked up,
guy
dude.
is just that good.
That's fucked up.
And who knows? Maybe it'll come out that he is elaborately cheating somehow. And I'll
Sure.
be wrong, but I really don't know
I
that
don't
there's a
know.
way that he
Who's
could.
the original accuser that he's cheating? Is it like the
Magnus
Check-
Carlsen, he's the world champion.
The world champion, yeah.
oh, so the actual butthurt champion who was
Yeah,
beat
so
made the
Magnus-
X-rated.
The reason that he gave was that because Hans wasn't really thinking or didn't seem like he was thinking as much when he played me. And the fact
How
that
do you
Hans
judge
beat
that?
him,
That's
the thing
subjective.
though is that Hans beat him with the black pieces, which, and I shit you not, rarely ever happens against Magnus Carlsen. You know what I
Well, you
mean?
get
Like,
second, yeah, you don't get to go
yeah,
first.
you can't because the white always has the advantage,
Yeah, the
and to beat him requires a lot of fucking foresight, right? You can
Yeah.
draw him, you could tie, but beating him with black or beating any top grandmaster with black is fucking very difficult. And he did it, and that's why Magnus got all butthurt. and shit.
How long was the
You know what I'm
game?
saying? I don't know, hours.
Yeah.
Well, it's classical time control, so they had an hour and a half, so 90 minutes.
The
Side did, so it could have been.
you know, and that whole thing too, like it didn't seem like he was even thinking. Like, is he making his moves
Yeah.
real fast, or is it just like, you know, that's subjective too?
No, he was thinking. That's what I mean. Like maybe he wasn't. You know, I just don't. I don't know what they're basing all this shit on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the thing is that what's
How
great. I
old is he?
should have used this as the what's sexy is Hans is totally taking this shit with a fucking like he's owning it like these motherfuckers doing this shit because in the interview after he won today they go, so we have to ask like how is it, you know, what's your response to all this stuff? And he's like, well, this all started with me saying that the chess speaks for itself because that's what he said after he beat Magnus. That was the interview, the whole thing. He just said the chess speaks for itself and he walked away. He says, well, it all started with me saying the chess speaks for itself, and I'll tell you what, the chess speaks for itself, and then he left again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck, I'm glad.
Yeah,
Awesome.
right?
Fuck those assholes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Fucking stuck. Like, they have no evidence. Fuck them. Anyway, I'm done bitching about it.
Awesome.
Moving on to Ashtray. Bridal shit show. Oh, this is going to be a good story.
Yeah.
This
This
is a good
fucking
thing.
wedding was like the worst. Like it was the biggest meltdown of like disorganization, probably in my career. at least that I can remember in a while.
Okay, so like having Ashtray at my wedding, anything that's not go on his schedule is considered a breakdown.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is
It's
this is,
no, you can't. It's an hour early. You can't do that now. I'm like, it's too hot. We're calling it, bro. So, yeah, so yeah. So
I'm
keep that in
saying.
mind.
So this wedding had a standard, 4 to 6 dinner music, and then 6 to 10 dancing. I'm there by 2:30, and I'm set up early and got the cocktail music going before 4 o'clock. But for the entire cocktail hour, there's like no one coming into the reception hall. There, a few people would peek their head in, ooh, look around, fucking leave. Sometimes they come in with a present, put it on the gift table, and walk out. And the bar wasn't even open at 4. And I asked the bartender when they finally are like, so what's on the menu tonight? What's on tap? And they're, what do you mean? I'm like, well, is there a sponsored keg? Usually, this is Wisconsin wedding. You have at least a keg of beer
Right.
for your group, all your friends and family. And this is small. On the contract said 75 people. People were hanging out in the lobby because no one knew what the fuck was going on. We had to, with me and the venue staff, because the venue staff were like, oh, they didn't organize anything. No drinks. I'm like, I gotta spend $6 now for my beers. Like, this is fucking bullshit. And so, and this is the time, it's always the calm before the storm, the dinner. And it's supposed to be at 5 o'clock, a grand entrance. There's no way you can't have a grand entrance if there's no one to enter to. So we had to shoo motherfuckers in and like coax them, please, come in, find a seat, like a wedding party's going to be arriving any time now. We're going to have a grand entrance. And even the caterers are like, yeah, so, were you given any word on this? Because all we were kind of told is, they want chicken wings and pizza. And so we're going to have some salad and soup before that. But, that's about all the direction we were given. I'm like,
that was the meal? Chicken wings and pizza?
Yes. Fucking chicken wings
What?
and pizza. This is like straight.
What kind of northern redneck
This
wedding
is
was
the
this?
fucking Trailer Park Boys wedding.
I mean, really, yeah.
That's
this girl,
awesome.
This chick, this bride
This
was
is
like
a Domino's?
fucking
Mhm.
she was
I hope so.
she was like Julie from goddamn Trailer Park Boys. And the
Who's Julie?
is it Julie? What's fucking Ricky's what, like, he's always after his wife. No, they were married. And who does Ricky bang all the time? He had a kid with
Lucy?
Lucy, not Julie. Sorry. Lucy. She is like a Lucy. This
I'm
fucking
like, I've
fucker.
seen that show probably 100
I mean, yeah.
times.
Maybe not as
I've
slutty.
never heard of Julie.
It's Miss
Probably
Close.
projecting it from white trash person I know. Anyways, so the wedding party, I've never had to do this, but the wedding party, it's like it's more than a half hour after when we're supposed to have this grand entrance, and no one seems to know where the wedding party. I was under the assumption that the wedding happened fairly close to this reception hall. I had never had to before, but I asked the crowd, hey, ladies and gentlemen, anybody's got contact with the wedding party, maybe shoot them a text, see if they got a flat tire on the party bus.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck, I gotta basically ask these poor people who don't know what's going on, where's this wedding you were just at? And woman comes up, oh, they're just leaving Watertown now. It'll be about a half hour. It's like, fucking A, it's a half hour. They're already a half hour late from when we're supposed to have the grand entrance and eat. So when they finally show up, someone's like, oh, they have kids. They have kids, so things just didn't run on time with the ceremonies. They show up an hour and a half late. An hour and a half late. Oh yeah, they all had the
Wow.
fucking like hillbilly suspender, kind of the groomsmen had the hillbilly suspender look, and they show up an hour and a half late, and we get the grand entrance, and I finally usher them in, and they're eating, and then I guess all of a sudden the bride like disappears, and the photographer is like, what? Where the bride's at? We want to try to get some like.
Yeah, she's blowing her boyfriend in the fucking bathroom stall.
No, she was out. She apparently had one of her chicken wings was raw, and she was upset, and it was like amongst all the other things that was going wrong that day, because I guess one of their
Oh my
kids
God.
didn't. One of their kids didn't. They've already got 2 or 3 little fucking slobbering snotty
Little
hellions.
future Republicans.
Yes, I say both of them had that kind of asymmetrical look to their face, like they got dick donged in the womb by their respective fathers, and it's like
God, I've had to pee this whole time, and I was waiting, but I should have gone and
she would
pissed.
go. She would
Jesus
right
Christ.
outside the
I'm gonna
entire
go
time.
pee. I gotta pee.
All right,
Jesus
go
Christ.
pee.
Yeah.
But she, so the entire reception was there was no first dance, no father-daughter dance, no mother-son. It was like the groom had to come in and like tell me, yeah, just play some music for the people, and like she's out crying about how her wedding night is going terrible in the parking lot, perpetuating and making a self-fulfilling prophecy about how terrible her wedding night is.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
no wedding night goes as planned. And like you pouting and crying out in the goddamn parking lot is like you're just leaving everybody in there to wonder what the fuck is going on.
Mhm.
And like I hear mother of the bride's asking around, and everybody's like, our chicken wings are fine. Like, probably because you showed up an hour and a half.
Wrong with a chicken wing.
Yeah,
Right.
because you showed up an hour and a half long, or late. Like they fucking had to
Your shit's
rush to
cold.
keep them up again. Yeah.
I mean,
They,
that's just a fucking dude. That's a goddamn. That's just a sign of what their life is going to be like.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, she can't even hold it together on her wedding day.
Mhm.
Yeah. And my boss had warned me, like, my boss was like, they're pretty laid back, should be easy to work with. I think the bride seems a little underprepared. And it's like, oh my God, kind of underprepared.
Underprepared. Yeah.
Groom's like, make an announcement that, all soda is free at the bar. It's like, oh boy, yeah, soda's free at the bar. Great. And then 5 minutes later, staff member comes up, make an announcement that no soda's free at all. There's been no arrangements made. It's like, oh Jesus fuck Christ.
I would have been like, no, you can make that announcement.
Do you think the groom just made that up?
Well, I don't know. The thing is, like, the groom was like, well, the big round lady, we know her from back in Waterloo, and like she runs this hotel and a bunch of other ones, and like, so we thought we had these plans. It kind of sounds like, they just like fucking like talked some shit at the bar with this person because they knew him because they're all like townies, and that it was like, but they actually made no formal contract with the venue. So the venue had no idea like how much booze they would need or anything because they made no plans. It was all going to be a cash bar, so you don't stock up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But fuck, man, it was a shit show. I at least got my check and I got a tip to make sure that for goddamn sure. But fuck, it's a hard uphill battle.
Were you tipped in meth?
No.
Yeah, right. Meth and fucking air cleaners for a 1974 Trans Am or some shit.
Oh God, they just sound like two like wayward weirdos that like had kids probably straight out of high school, and they've just now finally gotten around to like doing the wedding thing, but none of them could ever get their shit together. The fucking best man forced his speech, even though there's no bride or no one to like give it to, but you could tell he actually wrote a whole page out. This poor doofus. He really wanted to give it, so we let him do it.
Wait a second. He gave his speech, and the fucking bride and groom were not there?
The groom was there. The groom was kind of like, he was the only one kind of trying to hold the whole fucking shit show together. because his bride was going out pouting, and all the bridesmaids were out there trying to console
Oh
her.
my
Oh
god.
my god, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying. Who the
Lucy,
fuck are these people?
Yes.
Was she
And,
wearing fucking stripper Crocs too?
oh no, but she had her white wedding dress, and she had a blue jean jacket on over top.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. That's why I was like, I really wish I would have took a picture of her.
Holy
The
shit!
photographer barely got any pictures of her.
I was a videographer for a wedding one time though, and the first thing the groom said when he came in the door was, "Let's get this over with. I want to get drunk." I was like, "This is gonna be a good one."
But I got a better story. I had a buddy show up. He showed up in my apartment. He showed up in a suit to smoke a blunt with me. And he was going to be in a wedding, and they needed an extra groomsman, so I had to put on a suit and go with him. I wouldn't see the shit. The wedding took place in an apartment complex. The place, the housing where they had like the pool table and where the pool and gym, the clubhouse. It took place in the clubhouse. Yeah, it took
That's
place in the apartment, and it wasn't a nice apartment complex clubhouse. It was a ghetto apartment complex clubhouse.
Oh my god.
And here's
dude.
the thing: the groom was so goddamn drunk that he almost fought the preacher, because when it came to that point where he said, if anybody has any reason why these two should not be married, speak now for hold their peace. The groom was so drunk, he was like, "Why you gotta ask that, bro? What the fuck you going? Why you gonna ask him? Who gonna have a fucking problem with it, dog?" And they had to actually pull him off.
Oh my
fucking-
Getting in a
God.
fight with the priest.
Yeah.
Oh my
Keep in
God.
mind, I only knew one person at this wedding, and that was the guy who showed up in my apartment to smoke a blunt with me and take me to this wedding after I put on a suit. It was the best Saturday I ever had in my fucking life.
That
so
sounds
fucking
fucking
sick.
amazing.
It was really awesome. Like
Right?
he almost fought the preacher for asking the question
Wow.
that's in the fucking
Why
marriage
the
law. It was
fuck
fucking
did
you
they
know,
need
no one
another
ever asked that
groomsman?
question anymore.
All right, Teddy, goddamn cheaters! I saw this.
okay. So goddamn cheaters. These two
This
guys.
is
Let me
funny.
pull this shit up.
Look at
These
them.
guys'
They
names.
look like cheaters.
They are fucking cheaters.
Look
Goddamn,
at
my
that
phone fucking.
shorty.
Look at that dude on the left. He
Oh
looks
yeah, I
like
I
heard
know.
about this.
beat the shit out of that guy.
God,
Shit,
he
I
looks
gotta-
like his
gotta
name's
pop back up.
Trevor.
So two guys got caught.
Trevor,
The
like
reason
Conrad.
this kept popping up in my Google news feed and all of my news feeds, and I'm like, who fucking cares? It was a fishing tournament. The reason when I started like looking into it and shit, these two guys, shit, let me get the names right. Sorry. Oh my God, scroll down, scroll. Chomsky and Runyon. These two guys.
Poor
Runyon.
Chomsky's got a bad name now.
I'm sorry, Komsky and Runyon. These two guys, they caught 5 fish in a it was like a Lake Erie walleye competition. They caught 5 fish. When you hold them up, their total weight was like 36 pounds. And there are guys, these are guys who fish for a living in these tournaments, and they're like, there's no fucking way that this happened. that they're 35 pounds, whatever. Turns out the guy who was holding the fish up with him, he felt like the fish felt unnatural. He out of these 5 fish, he pulled 10 egg-shaped still weights out of these fish to add weights into.
So they just cram weights in their
Yeah.
gullet?
Yeah.
It was a walleye fishing tournament. So the guys, here's the thing, they crammed they pulled a couple weights out of all of the fish, and they also pulled a walleye fillet out of the fish. So it was like they stuffed the weights down there and then put the walleye fillet on top of it.
Yeah.
These guys, I thought it was.
Did you actually watch the video?
Oh yeah. The cops had to score. They were finna get fucking murdered,
Dude,
bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
those people were gonna fucking kill those guys.
Yeah, and
like,
the reason,
that's
and the
how,
reason, right.
like chess, like.
So yeah, was this like a big
chess,
public
everyone's
thing?
like,
or something?
everyone's
here's the
like,
thing,
oh my
here's the thing.
god, these
here's-
fishermen, then they were gonna stab that motherfucker.
They were gonna stab him,
I swear
but
to
here's the-
God.
This is a fishing tournament. Do you know what the grand prize for this tournament was? It was $30,000. $30,000. $30,000.
$30,000.
And these guys to get into that tournament had to win. They won other tournaments to get into that tournament, so they also won more money. Apparently, these guys have made millions off of being professional fishermen, and they're and they've been accused of cheating before, and they've had to take a polygraph. It's yeah. So I didn't know that.
I guess I'm
Didn't
surprised
take a
that the fish aren't always
polygraph?
A
inspected.
polygraph, yes. I believe one guy passed and the other guy failed
That's a
it.
lot of money involved, man.
I mean, I didn't-
30
and I didn't
grand
think-
ain't nothing to fuck
I
with.
didn't think that much money was involved in professional fishing.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
I was just thinking of the spot. I mean, if you're good enough, you're gonna get sponsored by people too. Evan Root, fucking, any Bass Pro Shops, fucking
Get
whoever,
sponsored by fucking Honey's Natural Deer
Yeah.
Pits.
whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Snap baits, snap baits and crankbaits. We're digging the mud.
Is this
right?
where they're like gonna kill him?
Yeah.
No,
I
we're
know.
probably about halfway down and 72 feet.
Okay, let's.
We
Yeah,
got
it's-
6 guys. I think we're.
Yeah, they start
2047.
cutting them open.
2047 currently sitting in 5th place, guys. 790 Wayne.
Okay, so they clearly don't have it yet.
Yeah,
We're
when
toward
it
the end. See where it gets all crazy at the sound.
Oh yeah,
does.
yeah. Okay.
We got weights and fish. They flip out, right? It's just,
Oh yeah,
like,
they're
they
cutting
cut
it
out. Yeah,
open
yeah,
right
sure.
now. Oh shit! Holy fucking
him.
shit! Holy fucking shit,
Yeah.
man!
Injected some of my face.
Oh my god! Holy fucking shit!
I mean, and like and fishing is not easy. You gotta get up early in the morning. Like these guys put in a lot of time and it works.
Fishing ain't easy.
And they fucking and people are wanting them to give back the money. Well, they did
Yeah.
give back the money, but they're wondering how many times these guys are cheated.
Oh my god!
Well, and how many guys screaming here have been competing against them in all these other tournaments?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too, man.
Go get that motherfucker! Holy shit!
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this. That's great.
I mean, this is good old boys to
They've been drinking all day too, you know.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, man.
yeah, you know,
Holy shit!
Man.
fantastic.
So whatever happened? Did they just get boot? Like,
They
They
gave
got
the money,
fined?
they didn't get the money. Of course, they had to get the money
Yeah.
back. Other than that, I haven't looked past it. Maybe they got hung.
I mean, they might get, or they're just gonna be
It's a good old boy sport.
blacklisted,
Shit.
you know. Like they're not gonna be competing in any fucking.
Oh, no,
tournament
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they
because,
just
like I said,
ruin their career.
they've been caught out on cheating before, and they had to take a polygraph. So it's I doubt these guys are gonna be able to compete anymore in the professional circuit. But they've won millions of dollars. Well, people are wondering like how much of that money has been cheated from other fishermen. So
Gone fishing.
Yeah, they need.
Yeah.
I would be showing my face around the fishing circle.
Right?
oh no,
Circuit,
They're
my
gonna have to
favorite.
get into bow hunting now. Gotta sit up in
Poison on the
tree.
tips of their arrows, so they
Yeah,
kill the
right.
deer quicker or some shit. Anyway,
They
in
find
all
out.
seriousness,
We got heat-seeking arrows here. Ah!
go fuck yourself, Magnus Carlson. That's our show. We're going to be here every Wednesday or Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/theredeyereport. Share us, like us, or fuck us. We're down for whatever. I'm Mystic.
I'm more.
This is that tree.
Oh.
whatever. And I'm James
Whatever.
Harden. I mean Teddy Bear. Sorry.
You
I got-
say I'm Ted
I've been
Hart.
drinking. I'm drinking. I've been drinking. I'll tell myself in the
This is
fucking
the Red
in my
Eye
feet. I
Report.
thought I was James Harden for a second. Fuck you, white people.
For a second. Oh, Teddy, you're fantastic.